Hey everyone, welcome back to Patchogue Firearms Restoration. Today I'm going to put a cutie swivel set on my Boyd's pepper laminate stock. A few things we need to do this. First of all, we need the cutie swivels. I chose these from Grove Tech because of the ease of installation. They come with a threaded 9/16 18 cup and then the matching swivel which locks into the cup. You're going to need a 33/64 wood bit. You're going to need a 9/16 18 bottom tap. You're going to need an Allen wrench to screw that down into. A piece of sandpaper to chamfer the wood after we drill it. A little bit of cleaner degreaser. And a little bit of epoxy. I'm just going to go through all the steps to do this step by step, and hang on, here we go. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to mark the stock where I want to put these. I've already done that. On the back end, I split the difference between the top and bottom about 1 inch in, and I'm going to put the mark right there. I had marked it here, and then when I put the cutie swivel on it, I noted that it kind of hung over the edge a little bit, so I pushed it back about another 1/4 of an inch. And I did it on a piece of tape so that when we first take a bite with the wood bit, it doesn't splinter the wood too bad. Up on the front, I chose a spot about 1.5 inches back from the existing swivel stud. And one thing to note, when you guys, if you do this up in the front, you got to make sure you have enough thickness to your wood compared to the depth of the drill bit going in to make sure that you're not going to end up in where the barrel is, or if the cup, once you mount the cup, you got to make sure the cup's not going to fill up that entire distance. In the case of this rifle, there's a large pocket in here, so this is going to end up being a through hole. And once I epoxy the cup in, it'll still be about the same height as the existing stud nut that's in here. So that's the first step. Mark where you want to put your holes. The second thing we're going to do is we're going to degrease the 2 cups so that when we epoxy them in, there's no oils on them that sticks. So I'm just going to run up and degrease these, and then I'll be back for the next step. So the next thing you want to do is prep your drill bit, and you want to mark it for the depth that you want to go. And I'm going to illustrate with a pen here once I get this put in my hand. The cups have a certain depth, and the drill bit has a center tip, and it's also got these cutters which make it cut into the wood real fine. You want to compare the bottom of the cup, and you want to set your depth mark so the bottom of the cup matches that inside flat on the face of the drill bit. Otherwise, if you mark it like this with your tape, you're not going to drill deep enough, and you're going to end up with a portion of the cup sticking out of the wood stock. So what you want to do is you want to put your tape so that it matches like that. You want this flat in here to be the bottom of your hole, not the tip or not the cutting edge. So the next thing I do, just to prep before I touch the wood itself, the real stock, is I did all these steps for the drilling and the tapping on a scrap piece. And then I actually drilled it, tapped it, and then I screwed in my part, and I saw that, hey, I didn't make it deep enough. It's still not where I want it to be, so I adjusted my tape back that distance again that's sticking up here, so that when I drill deep enough the next time, I'm down all the way, and on the real piece it'll be good. So now that we have our drill marked and we know our depth, let's go out to the drill press and get the stock drilled. Okay, once you get it mounted in the vise, the first thing you want to check for is that you're parallel and square to the surface of the gun, so I'm using a 1-2-3 block to get it adjusted. And I've got my center pip of my drill bit touching the point where I want to drill. So now I'm going to go ahead and fire this up and we'll get this first hole drilled. Remember, because of the bottom of this, it's probably going to be a through hole. Damn it, it's moving. So I touched off on the tape, and I don't want to go any further. Let's take this out and flip it over and see if we went through. Just started to go through with the pip. Not too bad, so we still have a bottom to that hole. Alright, I'm going to set up again to do the butt stock, the back end here, and then we'll do a shot of that too. Okay, I had hoped to be able to put this in the milling machine, but my mini mill is too small, so I can't come up with a good solution to hold this. So I'm just going to have to square this up and just dead recking this by eyeball. Hope that I get it nice and straight. Here we go. Alright, back to the workbench. Get through the next steps. Okay, so we're back at the bench. First thing we want to do is remove our masking tape. The next thing we want to do is put a slight chamfer on this nice edge that we put in for the hole. So what I'm going to do is ball up a piece of sandpaper, and then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to run the sandpaper around and create a chamfer. And the reason for that is just to allow the tap to get started, because the tap has a chamfer, and that'll allow it to get in there a little bit in the hole and get the first cut made and get going nice and straight. So you don't need to go crazy, just a little tiny chamfer and take that edge off right there. I'm going to do that on both holes. Alright. So up next is the 9/16 bottom tap. I'm going to get that started in there nice and straight. Get it cutting. So one thing to note while you're cutting into these stocks with this, you'll see that this tap is cutting very easily. I'm just using fingertip pressure. When you get to the bottom, you're going to meet resistance. At that point, you must stop immediately. Don't think you're going to give this thing one extra turn and everything's going to be okay. When you get to the bottom and it feels like a big increase in resistance, like right there, stop. If I was to turn this one more full turn, because the wood is so soft, it's not like aluminum or steel, I would have destroyed every hole, every thread that I had just cut in this wood stock. Here we go. Let's knock some of these shavings out. See if I can get this to show you guys the threads we just cut. Let me grab a light. There we go. And then we just cut the threads in the front and we'll be done. Same up on the forward end. Here we go. We hit that wall. We hit the resistance. We hit the bottom. Back it out. Nice little threads. All right. So up next, we could test fit these to make sure they go down all the way. Should thread in nice and easy. And right about like that. Alright, so we're going to back it out. Off on the side, I've prepped a little bit of acroglass. So now we're going to put some acroglass inside there. I'm just going to use a Q-tip as an applicator. Not going to need much. That's not working so good. Let's try a popsicle stick. Just put a little dab on each side, because when you thread in the cup, the threads will actually push all the acroglass around. We're going to get it down so she's just nice and flush. We want a little bit of the metal up above the surface. Just a tiny bit. Right like that. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the back end. There we go. Just a little bit proud of the surface, just right. That's all I got for you kids today. Thanks for joining me at Patriotic Firearms Restoration. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you have a passion rebuilding and conserving old firearms, and in this case, fixing up a new one. Thanks again. Have a great day.